That's what I think.
Because he has shooting ability. I think you told me Rose was kind of off on his shot, but
yeah, he needs
hard worker or whatever.
He needs to work on it, and he can get to the hoop as good as anybody. But without an outside shot in the NBA, he's not going to be as effective as he was. But to his credit, he was only a freshman in college last year. He has time to develop a shot, so I mean it will come around. But if it's me, I'm the Bulls. I'm taking Beasley. I'm taking Beasley, and I'm sticking with Kirk Heinrich as my point guard. Then what do? You have Heinrich and Derrick Rose in there. I mean, who do you start?
Right.
Do you just put Derrick Rose on the bench his first season, and surely you don't put Heinrich on the bench and it just doesn't make sense. There's not room. You'd have to move Heinrich.
He'd have to switch positions.
He's not a backup. Yeah. Heinrich's not a backup on any team. He's the starting point guard. So, to me, it only makes sense to take Beasley. I mean, they have Drew Gooden to play power forward. Drew Gooden is a guy that could afford to share some time with somebody, possibly teach him the 2 or 3 things that Gooden knows. And then, you know what I mean? And then the Bulls could get rid of Gooden and just roll with Beasley. That's what I would do. I think Beasley's. Everybody said, "Well, Derrick Rose, you don't pass up on a once in a lifetime kind of a point guard," and everybody's convinced that Derrick Rose is that guy.
I mean, do you think he's like a Rondo?
Well, it's hard to compare. They're saying they're talking more like Chris Paul, more like a Chris Paul when he develops his jump shot a little bit. But he has the ability to be an amazing player. Derrick Rose is going to be terrific. If I don't take Beasley first, I'm taking Derrick Rose. If I'm number 2 and somebody takes Beasley, I'm going Derrick Rose.
Right.
But, one guy in this whole draft that nobody's really talking about that I like a lot, another point guard, and he's the one most people in Illinois hate his guts because he committed to Illinois and then switched his, commitment over to Indiana. Eric Gordon.
Yeah, I remember the controversy going on.
Listen, Eric Gordon can get to the rim. All right, he's a strong point guard. He can get to the rim, and he has NBA range and then some. If you watched him play last season, he can shoot lights out from anywhere inside half court. Like, this kid already has the total package. I'm trying to figure out why O.J. Mayo and Derrick Rose are so far ahead of this guy from what people are saying. This might be to me, if I'm picking a point guard and I have my pick of all the guys there, I'm really having a tough time picking between Derrick Rose and Eric Gordon. I think Eric Gordon's going to be spectacular.
It might be that whole committed thing and then switched up.
But yeah, people don't like his past.
Yeah.
No, what it is Memphis went to the championship game. That makes such a big difference. You get to the Final Four, you get to the championship game, and that really elevates your status, man. People really want to, pick you. But I like Eric Gordon as good as any point guard in the draft, honestly. O.J. Mayo, too, will be just fine. But Gordon can already shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. The terrific ball handler. Like I said earlier, he can get to the rim. A strong upper body. He's not going to get pushed around by some of the stronger point guards in the league. To me, if I'm picking right in the middle of the first round and Eric Gordon's still sitting there, I'm thinking, Jesus for my rookie gift that I was just given, because he's going to be a good player. Elwood probably loves hearing about that, Indiana fan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, there was a whole big thing because when Gordon switched, we all ripped him here in Illinois, and Elwood's sticking up for him like, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened.
Didn't really go like that.
But it is. It is how it happened. But it doesn't matter because one and done. I mean, he's one and done.
Right.
Illinois would be without him this season anyway, so big deal.
Yep.
The draft's Thursday night. I'm trying to look. We'll bounce around a little bit here, see what we can get to. I read an article in my ESPN the magazine by Bill Simmons. He's called the Sports Guy. That's his nickname, the Sports Guy. Clever name, right?
Yeah, right. That must have took a while to come up with.
And he's talking about Roger Federer, and he's saying,
Federer?
Yeah, Roger Federer. He's saying, tennis is so boring. Like, nobody watches tennis. Wimbledon's coming up, and though some, sports fans may, like, flip over there just to kind of monitor what's going on, or, they'll pay attention to the highlights on SportsCenter. He's like, when was the last time you actually sat through an entire tennis match? And it's like, good point. And he's kind of comparing.
Been a couple years.
Yeah. I mean, an entire tennis match. I mean, you just actually watched the whole thing.
Yeah. Well,
really? I've never in my life
moved down to San Diego for a little while with my dad.
Oh, okay.
And we had this guy. He was an amateur professional, whatever you want to call it, semi-pro.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever. And he was teaching us how to
Love
play.
is sexy.
Wake up with sexy.
Yeah, all right. So sorry to interrupt you, B-Rod.
Yeah. Now you threw me off.
I know. You used to live with your dad, San Diego.
Yeah, and we had this semi-professional tennis instructor.
Oh, okay.
On the was living in like a villa.
Okay.
Like a fenced-in community.
Nice.
And it had like 3 pools and 2 or 3 tennis courts. There wasn't any basketball. I probably couldn't play with the kids down there anyway because,
They were ballers.
Yeah. And so I started watching. Just my dad was taking lessons, and then I just started helping my dad practice.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, this ain't that bad. And then I found another kid in the, in the housing there or whatever that, could play. And
So you played a little tennis.
We just went out there and played every day.
So then you started watching tennis a little bit too? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, but you do realize, though, that you're in the minority.
Yes.
Most people, not playing tennis is kind of fun. I've done that before, but it's similar to golf in the way that it's fun to play.
Right.
I love going golfing. I have a good time playing tennis. I like playing table tennis more.
Yeah. It's not a sport.
No, well, not table tennis. Tennis is a sport, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But on TV, not fun. Watching tennis on TV,